Hello to all you in YouTube world willing to listen to this video. My name is Scarlett, and I am an atheist and skeptic in progress. I like to contemplate matters of life and philosophy, especially what gives us meaning and purpose. To that end today, I respond to 3 questions for atheists from a channel called Stir and Fry. To be honest, I don't hold these questions for atheists videos in very high regard. To me, they seem intended more for believers to feel they hold the correct answer to these questions. Even the framing gives away the game in many cases. I often wonder, do the makers of these videos ever even look at the replies? Do they consider the answers? Do they really take in the variety of atheist responses out there? I sometimes see a snarky follow-up video with more questions, which simply reinforces the impression that the videos are intended to make that person feel good. Stir and Fry seems like a pleasant person from this video. I have not watched much of his content, to be honest. I'm just taking it from this video. He says the questions aren't meant as gotchas, and I have to appreciate the brevity of his video, under 2 minutes. He really just lays out the questions. I won't show the video, but you can check it out. I'll link to it. Since he just asked the questions, I will simply pose them and respond. Question 1. Where do you find meaning in life? Or, what matters most to you? Really, this is 2 questions, but we'll let that slide. I would say I find meaning in learning, discovering, and exploring. I keep up with news, read books, fiction and nonfiction, participate in discussion groups, travel, meet new people, and I could go on. Really, just exploring this thing we call life brings great meaning to me. What matters most to me, I would have to say, is connections with people in my life. This is tangential to the topic, but I want to share it here because I think it's a good demonstration of a meaningful experience without God. Last September, I was staying in a seaside town and decided to observe the sunrise. I went to the beach when it was still dark, and I wasn't alone. Maybe 20 other people had come to participate in the same moment at that stretch of beach. When the first rays of a rising sun reach us with the promise of a new day, the sand was cold on my feet, the birds flew and squawked, waves crashed. It was so peaceful. Then the first dot of orange, then more and more. The moment gave me such joy and sensation of awe. Here I am, a small speck on a large planet in the great expanse of space. And yet I am here, and I do feel all of this. It is mine, and I am sharing this moment with these people. I do not need to believe in any deity for the moment to be special. I don't need to have an explanation for life to feel any particular emotion. It was enough for me to say, the earth turns, the sun gives light, I have a new day to feel however I want. That is beautiful enough without the need for anything else. Question 2. If there is a God, what would he have to do to prove his existence to you? I have thought about this from time to time. I used to say, I don't know, but a God should know, especially a God who people claim want a relationship with me. But lately, I do know something he could do. God could come down in whatever form and tell me things about myself that no one else would know. Kind of like one of those Star Trek time paradox episodes where a character comes from the future and proves themselves by narrating things only that character would know. There are things no one knows about me. Hopes, fears, disappointments that others only have an inkling of. And I don't mean some generic expression of what I felt. I don't mean, oh, I know how sad you were when relative X died, or I know you loved your pet. I'm talking specific. This person would know just how much a relative meant to me, such that I had specific thoughts, specific feelings, specific nightmares that this deity could tell me. Or the deity could say, I know how disappointed you were when you tried to do this thing and your mother or your friend reacted in this way. I know what you really intended even though they didn't. Or the deity could say, I know you wanted this outcome from X, Y, or Z. Very, very specific things. I do mean specific emotions, specific gradations of thoughts and feelings that only a deity could give me. I still don't know if I would worship that deity, but that would convince me of its omniscience. Question 3. Do you want the Jesus story to be true? Jesus reveals a God who demonstrates his character most clearly in being nailed to a piece of wood, bleeding and praying for his enemies, laying down his life for his people because he is love. Could you get behind that sort of a God? Do you want it to be true? To be honest, I just really don't care about the Jesus story. A dude gets nailed to the cross in the Roman Empire for whatever. He and his friends can think it means something, but how do I know it means anything? The Roman Empire was a cruel time in human history. There was a lot of suffering and death. I do have to say, characterizing the story as Jesus laying down his life for his people is stretching it. He wasn't in battle protecting people, striding forward to protect his people who couldn't fight. He was arrested, tortured, and crucified. As for, could I get behind a God who demands a blood sacrifice to make good on what he created, I find the notion ludicrous. Why does a supposed perfect being need to do any of this? Why doesn't he just wave his appendage and make it better, forgive us? I'm hardly the first to note that the whole idea of substitutionary or vicarious atonement is immoral. What it says is the only harm that needs remediating is whatever offends a deity. What we do to others is unimportant. We do not need to apologize, make amends, or remedy. In my opinion, such an attitude leads to people with little regard for their fellow humans. Moreover, with this Jesus story, what I see is a group of people who get two opposite feelings. They claim humility. They're not perfect. They're all sinners. All of us are sinners, even them. But their God loves us, loves them, despite it all. It's a beautiful combination, but also maddening to have a discussion with, and supremely arrogant. True or not true? I don't care. Doesn't matter to me, but it doesn't mean it means what they say. I have been Scarlett, giving my life meaning and purpose by making this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, you can, YouTube like it by hitting the like button. See you next time.